Have you ever felt tired of watching life go by, even though you're trying so hard, following the rules, doing everything right, yet still feeling like you're always falling behind? That happens because your focus is in the wrong place. Real strength comes from within. Focus on yourself, and nothing will knock you down. I'm not just talking about being patient or believing in yourself. I'm talking about having a strategy, being sharp, and taking control of what you can actually change, yourself. Believe me, life isn't about luck or magic, but about how you position yourself, how you respond, and most importantly, how you handle yourself. Being smart means seeing beyond the obvious and making clear decisions. It's not just about being intelligent, but about acting with purpose and control over your own path. Today, I'm going to show you 7 secrets that will not only set you apart from the crowd, but also turn you into someone who has full control over themselves and their surroundings. I won't sugarcoat things with pretty words. I'll give you real strategies based on Stoic philosophy, used by great figures in history who shaped their own destiny. And the last secret will surprise you. Are you ready to stop being pushed around by life and start steering your future? If so, keep watching. Your transformation starts now. Secret 1. Be smart. Life is a game. Learn how to play. Life isn't just some simple game. It's a complex board where every move you make can change everything. It's not about luck, where things happen randomly, but a strategic battle where every decision shapes your future. Making choices without thinking can cost you, just like moving a piece without realizing you're about to lose. Imagine your life as a chess game. Each piece represents something important: your relationships, your money, your health, your emotions. Some moves might seem small or unimportant, but they can completely change what happens next. One wrong step can set you back, while a well-planned move can open doors no one else even noticed. In chess, a good player doesn't act on impulse. They analyze, plan, and make decisions wisely. That's exactly how we should approach life. Being smart isn't just reacting to things. It's predicting, preparing, and adapting before things get out of hand. But be careful. Being smart doesn't mean being manipulative. True intelligence is knowing what really matters, seeing beyond the moment, and understanding when to act, when to wait, and when to step back. Sometimes the best move isn't a direct attack, but a strategic silence. It might seem difficult, but no one is born knowing everything. You learn over time by paying attention to details and gaining experience. The real winners in life aren't the fastest or the most impulsive. They're the ones who keep a cool head even when everything seems to be falling apart. Now, let me tell you a story that shows the real power of being smart. The story of Lucas, the hardworking young man. Like many others, Lucas was living on autopilot, going through his workdays without motivation. Until one day, a friend told him, "Are you just going to keep being another average guy? How long will you live like this? If you want change, you have to act differently. No one wins without taking action." Those words hit him hard. Lucas realized he had been waiting for something to change, but nothing would change unless he made a move. The first step: stop waiting and start seeing the opportunities others ignored. He noticed that most people only did the bare minimum, while he could go further. He started staying ahead. He didn't wait for orders. He came with solutions. He didn't settle for the basics. He pushed himself to learn more. Most importantly, he wasn't afraid to fail, to try, or to grow. But above all, he decided he wouldn't be a spectator in his own life anymore. Within months, the results came. Lucas didn't get promoted by luck. He advanced because he spotted opportunities before anyone else. He became essential. What made him different? He took action. He saw possibilities where others only saw obstacles. Lucas didn't stand out just because of hard work, but because he played the game in a way no one else did, with vision, confidence, and the mindset of someone who refuses to be just another face in the crowd. Now, the question is simple. Are you going to keep waiting, or will you take control of your life? There's no in-between. Either you change how you act, or you'll keep watching time pass, hoping for something that may never come. Be bold. The world won't wait for you. If you want something big, you have to take risks. The time is now. Write in the comments and make your commitment. I will focus on myself. Nothing will knock me down. Key 2. Resilience. The art of standing strong. Life often feels like a constant battle. At every turn, we face unexpected struggles, sudden pain, and disappointments that can leave us lost. But if there's one thing that truly makes us strong, it's our ability to keep moving forward. even when everything seems to be falling apart. This is the power of resilience, the art of standing strong. Imagine being caught in the middle of a storm. The wind is blowing hard, everything around you is shaking, and it feels like it could all collapse. In moments like these, what can you do? Hold on tight and stay standing, even when everything seems to be pushing you down. Sometimes, that storm comes in the form of a big loss, a tough moment, or a series of challenges that feel endless. But here's something important. Resilience doesn't mean avoiding pain. It means learning how to get back up after being knocked down. And this isn't something we're born with. It's something we build, like a muscle that grows stronger over time. Every struggle, every mistake, and every setback is like a building block that makes our foundation stronger. Every time we face a problem, we have the chance to learn from it, to grow, and to come out stronger. That doesn't mean we'll never feel pain, but it does mean we can get through anything and come out the other side more prepared and confident. Being resilient isn't just about holding on. It's about looking past the hard moment and seeing a better future. Instead of getting stuck in sadness or fear, people with this inner strength can see new possibilities, even when everything seems lost. Every new day is a chance to start fresh, to learn, and to face life with more confidence. But to develop this strength, just enduring isn't enough. You have to accept that struggles are part of growth and have the courage to deal with your own mistakes. Often the biggest challenge isn't the problem itself, but the weight we carry when we dwell on our failures. It's hard to admit when we mess up, when we fall short, when we feel weak. But what really matters isn't being perfect. It's having the courage to look at our mistakes and ask, what can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? It's not about ignoring pain or pretending nothing happened. It's about understanding that tough times aren't our enemies. They're opportunities to learn more about ourselves and what we're capable of handling. In the end, resilience is a choice. The choice to not let problems defeat us. The choice to believe in ourselves. The choice to keep going, even when things feel impossible. And as tough as it may seem, this strength shows us that, most of the time, the hardest path is also the most rewarding one. The ability to stand strong isn't a special gift, it's a decision. And that decision is in your hands. Quick pause. If this content is helping you, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Your support makes all the difference. Key 3. Your mind is your fortress. Our mind is like a fortress, built with the bricks of our thoughts. It protects us, guides us, and shapes who we are. But like any structure, it can weaken if it's not taken care of and strengthened. And the first big battle happens inside us, in the silence of our thoughts. If we let anxiety, fear, and pain take over, our fortress starts to crumble. But if we learn to guard our mind, carefully choosing what we allow in, we'll be ready to face any storm. Stoic philosophy teaches us that having a strong mind doesn't mean never feeling afraid. It means knowing how to handle fear. It doesn't mean never feeling pain, but understanding that pain, when faced wisely, loses its power over us. With every thought that comes up, we have two choices: let it control us or take control of it. If you react immediately with anger, frustration, or anxiety, it's like opening the gates of your fortress to invaders. But if you choose to stop, think, and respond wisely instead, your mind becomes stronger and unshakable. Imagine a calm, steady river flowing through your life. The currents of challenges try to pull you into chaos and obstacles. But you, as someone wise, don't fight against the current. Instead, you learn how to navigate it, adapting to the flow of life. A strong mind is like a deep river that, even during storms, stays on course without being swept away by fear or past mistakes. It stays steady because it understands that the only moment that truly matters is now. Picture yourself in a tough situation, facing something that seems huge and impossible to overcome, like standing in front of a mountain so tall and overwhelming that it feels impossible to climb. Fear tries to take over. Doubt whispers that you won't make it. But remember, inside you there's more strength than you think. True resilience isn't about having an easy life. It's about facing challenges with courage, wisdom, and calm. That mountain, which seems like an impossible problem, is really just a test for your spirit. Every small step brings you closer to the top, and what once felt impossible becomes just another path to walk. You don't need to control everything. You don't have to fight against what life brings, or try to change what's out of your hands. Real strength comes from not letting what happens around you control you, but instead taking charge of your own mind. When you do that, you build a solid and unshakable foundation. Every thought, every emotion that you choose not to let control you is like another brick added to your fortress. Taller, stronger, more resilient. And so, life goes on, with its struggles and good moments. But the difference is that now, you are in charge of your own destiny. Nothing that happens can break you, because your mind will be the safe place where you always find the strength to rise again. When you understand that real strength isn't about what happens to you but how you respond, you become unstoppable. A castle can be destroyed, but a strong mind can never be defeated. Key 4. The power of self-control. Self-control isn't just a trait, it's a powerful tool. And the truth you need to face right now is that without it, you're just drifting, being pushed around by life like a boat without direction. If you think you're in control of your life but still lose your temper in tough moments, act on impulse, or let bad habits and negative emotions take over, you're fooling yourself. Self-control is the only way to stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the main character in your own journey. Think about it. How many times have you acted without thinking and regretted it later, or given in to temptations you knew weren't good for you? Now, imagine how different your life would be if you had the power to stop those impulses before they took over. Self-control means being aware of your actions instead of behaving like a child who does whatever feels good at the moment. It means knowing what you really want and not letting short-term desires or outside influences push you in the wrong direction. Imagine a battlefield where you are the commander. The enemies aren't other people or situations. They are your own fears, frustrations, and reckless impulses. Self-control is the ability to say no to those traps and keep moving forward without letting them knock you down. It doesn't mean denying who you are. It means understanding your emotions and desires so well that you can make conscious choices. It's not about being cold or rigid, but about not being controlled by emotions and negative thoughts. And here's the thing, you can't expect the world to make this easy for you. People around you might not understand. Some will test your patience, challenge you, or try to throw you off balance. That's part of life. But if you have self-control, you'll look at those situations and say, "This won't control me. I decide how I react." Because that's exactly what self-control is. The ability to stay calm when everything is falling apart, to not react out of impulse, and to stay focused on what truly matters. Self-control also means resisting temptations, not because you're weak, but because you have something more important in mind. You have a goal, and the small distractions of daily life, the bad habits, the little indulgences, have no power over you. They're just obstacles trying to pull you away from what really matters. And this requires a level of honesty with yourself that most people aren't willing to have. How many times have you lied to yourself? How many times have you said, "This time will be different," only to repeat the same mistakes? Self-control is about recognizing those lies and refusing to believe them anymore. It's about stopping the self-deception. When you start building this skill, you realize how much you've been holding yourself back with your own choices. The excuses you use to comfort yourself stop making sense. You can no longer blame life, other people, or fate. The responsibility is yours. And that's freeing. Because when you take control, excuses disappear. There's no more "I can't," "I don't have time," or "it's too hard." Self-control is looking in the mirror and saying, "I am responsible for who I am and who I want to become. And if I don't like it, I will change it." It's not an easy path, and no one will applaud you for it. In fact, you will be tested all the time, and the temptation to give up will be strong. But the question you need to ask yourself is, do you want to be someone who is controlled by emotions and desires? Or do you want to be the person who chooses how to act, who decides their own life, and who controls their reactions? The power of self-mastery. To have control over yourself, you need to face the truth and be brave. You need to look inward and confront your weaknesses without running away. And do you know what happens when you do that? You free yourself in a way you never imagined. You will no longer be controlled by your emotions or by the things you think you need. You'll learn to stay calm in the middle of chaos and find the strength to handle life's challenges. So stop fooling yourself. Stop looking for easy solutions and start building real strength within you. Self-mastery isn't optional. It's the only way to truly live without feeling like you're being controlled by circumstances. If you want a future where your choices are truly yours, where you're no longer just reacting to life, and where you have the strength to turn every challenge into an opportunity to grow, start now. Start taking control. Start leading your own life. The rest will follow. The importance of living in the present. Living in the present is one of the hardest things to learn, but also one of the most powerful. We are constantly pulled into thinking about what has already happened or what's coming next. The past, with its memories, mistakes, and regrets, tries to hold us back and keeps us from moving forward. The future, with its uncertainties, fears, and expectations, creates anxiety and makes us forget that the only real thing we have is right now. If you stop to think, you'll realize that the only moment you can truly control is right now. But most people live as if happiness is always in the future, when they get a good job, when they reach a goal, when something big happens, or they get stuck in the past, replaying mistakes, losses, and missed chances. But here's the hard truth. Life isn't back there, and it's not in what hasn't happened yet. It's happening right now, right in front of you. And most of the time, you don't even notice because you're too busy thinking about another time. Now imagine if you could live every moment as if it were the most important. If you really paid attention to what you feel, what you see, and what you do, without distractions. This doesn't mean ignoring your responsibilities or not planning for the future. It just means focusing on what's in your control at this moment. It means stopping the habit of postponing life. How many times have you missed out on a good moment because you were too worried about what might happen next? That's a huge waste of energy. Living in the present takes courage because it means letting go of the illusion that we can control everything. We spend our lives trying to plan every detail, as if that could prevent any surprises. But in the end, things happen the way they're meant to. When you learn to be in the present, you stop fighting life and start flowing with it. That brings peace, because you realize that no matter what happens, you are exactly where you need to be right now. There's something powerful about simply pausing and feeling what's happening. The moment you look at the sky and truly admire its beauty without rushing. When you listen to someone and actually pay attention, without thinking about what you'll say next. That's the power of living in the now. It makes us more human, more whole, and more connected to the world around us. But we live in a society that constantly pressures us to be more, do more, and achieve more. We're always chasing something, as if happiness is waiting for us at the finish line. And that creates an emptiness, because that finish line never really arrives. If you think you'll only be happy when you achieve something in the future, you're telling yourself that right now isn't good enough. And that's not just a mistake, it's a huge loss. If you don't learn to appreciate the present, you'll spend your whole life chasing something that will never feel like enough. You might achieve a lot, but you'll still feel like something is missing. One day, you'll look back and ask yourself, what did I actually experience? And maybe you'll realize that you spent most of your time waiting for the right moment without noticing that it was already happening. Living in the present means understanding that every moment matters. Every breath, every conversation, every little achievement. That's what really counts. Because when you fully live today, you understand that the future is nothing more than a reflection of what you do right now. And the past? It stops being a burden because you realize that everything you went through was just part of the journey that brought you here. This isn't some distant idea or something impossible to reach. No, living in the present is simply paying attention to what's happening now. It's feeling the wind on your face, the warmth of the sun, the rhythm of your own breathing. It's letting go of the "when I finally get there" mindset and taking ownership of the moment you are in. And that's exactly where true happiness exists. Now ask yourself, what are you missing out on because you're not fully living in the now? The time you've already lost. How many times have you been stuck in past regrets or worried about the future? Life is happening now. Stop putting it off. Stop waiting for the right time, because it doesn't exist. The best moment is this one, the only one you truly have. And remember, what you do today creates your tomorrow. The future isn't some faraway place you reach after chasing 1,000 things. It starts right now. So look around, take a deep breath, and embrace this moment, because it's all you really have. Failure is the beginning of success. Sounds strange, doesn't it? Thinking that failing might be the first step to getting what you want. But that's exactly how it works. If you look at the most successful people in history, you'll notice a pattern. They all failed, and they failed a lot. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is how they see failure. Let's be clear. Failing doesn't mean you're a failure. It's not a label that defines you. Failing is learning. And more than that, it's a hidden opportunity. When something doesn't go as planned, you discover what doesn't work. Every setback, every obstacle, teaches you something new and brings you closer to getting it right. Failure, in that sense, is a teacher. It teaches you things that success never could. When you fail, you're forced to think. You reflect on your decisions, your actions, and your determination to keep going. And that's not a bad thing. In fact, it's the very thing that makes you improve. Without failure, without experiencing the impact of something not working, you'd have no reason to change. But failure pushes you to grow, to adjust what needs fixing, and to try again. The problem is that most people give up when they fail. They feel embarrassed, frustrated, and discouraged. They believe they'll never make it, so they just stop trying. Instead of seeing mistakes as a push to move forward, most people let them define their path. They get caught up in the fear of failing again, and that's where the real defeat happens. But what do successful people do differently? They make mistakes, yes, and not just once, but they don't give up. They learn, adjust, and try again, this time more prepared. They understand that every time they fall, they get up stronger, wiser, and more ready for the next challenge. A mistake isn't the end of the road, it's just a turn along the way. Think about Thomas Edison. He tested over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. But he never saw that as failure. To him, each mistake was just a way to learn what didn't work. The same goes for athletes, entrepreneurs, and artists who made history. Every one of them faced setbacks before reaching the top, and that's no coincidence. When you look at mistakes the right way, they become fuel for something great. So, change how you see failure. Don't see it as something to be ashamed of, but as a necessary step. It's not defeat, it's part of the journey. Because when you make mistakes, it means you tried. It means you stepped out of your comfort zone. It means you had courage. And that discomfort is where real growth happens. Mistakes break the limits that keep you stuck in the ordinary. They give you a chance to go beyond what you thought you were capable of. More than that, mistakes help you see what truly matters. They help you reorganize your priorities, sharpen your focus, and act smarter. Success isn't a final destination. It's a journey. And this journey only happens because you had the courage to fail, take risks, and keep going. So, stop being afraid of making mistakes. Stop thinking they prove you're not good enough. Mistakes aren't the end. They're just the beginning. Every failure brings a hidden lesson, a gift that prepares you for what's ahead. Success doesn't come from perfection. It comes from persistence, from the willingness to try, fail, and learn again. Mistakes don't define you, but how you respond to them does. So instead of giving up, use every mistake as a step to climb higher. And when you do, you'll realize that the path to winning always includes some failures along the way. And those failures, they're actually the first steps to getting where you want to be. Taking care of yourself is important, but being smart takes you. Further, life will test you. It will challenge you. And many times your first instinct will be to react with anger, fear, or frustration. But being smart means knowing how to handle these moments without losing control, without acting on impulse. It means being clear on what really matters and making decisions wisely, instead of letting emotions take over. You don't need to fight every obstacle as if it's a battle. No, you need to be more strategic than that. Being smart is knowing when to wait, when to move carefully, and when to act with precision. It doesn't mean being cold. It means thinking before you act. Every step should be intentional, not rushed. You understand that each mistake teaches something, and every win reflects your ability to see beyond the obvious, the intelligence that gives you an edge. And this sharpness is what puts you ahead. Being smart comes from learning to manage your emotions, staying focused despite what happens around you, and knowing when and how to act to achieve your goals. It's not about being dishonest or unfair, but about using your mind, reading situations, and making them work for you. Being smart means noticing what others overlook and positioning yourself to get what you want. It's always staying one step ahead. The power of smart discipline. Smart discipline is a powerful tool that few people truly master, but it can change everything. Many see discipline as something strict, as a set of rules that must be followed no matter what, a heavy obligation. But real discipline doesn't have to be that way. There's a smarter way to use it, a way that doesn't drain you but helps you direct your energy where it matters most, in the most effective way. That's the secret of smart discipline. Think about the difference between someone who does things just to check them off a list and someone who carefully chooses where and how to focus their effort. Smart discipline isn't about overloading yourself or doing more. It's about doing what really counts, in the best way possible. Instead of stubbornly pushing against an obstacle without thinking, smart discipline teaches you when to keep going, when to change your strategy, and most importantly, when to pause and reflect. Life isn't an endless race. Many people live as if they're in constant competition, forcing themselves to keep running without rest, chasing quick results, without realizing that this pace might actually push them further from what they truly want. Smart discipline doesn't mean running all the time. It means knowing when to speed up and when to slow down. It teaches that taking breaks isn't wasting time. It's a crucial step toward moving forward with more clarity and efficiency. The power of this kind of discipline lies in its flexibility. It doesn't demand that you be rigid, but that you know how to adapt. Sometimes you need to be firm and push forward. Other times, refusing to adjust can be your biggest mistake. Smart discipline knows how to adjust, keeping the focus on the final goal, even when the path changes or unexpected challenges come up. The real strength of this discipline isn't about never making mistakes, but about knowing how to correct your course whenever needed. Without this mindset, you might waste time and energy on things that lead nowhere. Instead of exhausting yourself with tasks that don't make sense, smart discipline teaches you to work in a more strategic way, to invest your time and effort in what actually brings results. It helps you stay ahead of problems, plan better, and make decisions with more clarity. Think of climbing a mountain. You could just keep going up non-stop, ignoring the signs along the way, pushing your body and mind without thinking about the risks. But smart discipline works like an experienced climber. It knows where to step, when to pause and rest, and when to push forward. The goal is always to reach the top without unnecessary exhaustion. There's no rush, just determination and wisdom in every move. Why smart discipline is so important? It doesn't demand perfection. It's not about never making mistakes or following a straight path without detours. Smart discipline is about wisdom, and that wisdom comes from understanding that mistakes are part of the journey. You will mess up, that's a fact, but failing doesn't mean you're a failure. In fact, every mistake is a chance to learn. The real secret of smart discipline is knowing how to use mistakes to your advantage, making adjustments when needed, and moving forward with more clarity and purpose. Every mistake teaches you something. The key is to learn from them and use that knowledge to improve with every step. Smart discipline isn't about being strict or inflexible. It's about having good judgment. It requires knowing when to push forward and when to take a step back and think. The real power of discipline lies in balancing action and rest, effort and reflection. It teaches that not every moment requires extreme effort. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is slow down so you can move forward later with more strength and precision. Instead of drowning in endless tasks, smart discipline helps you be strategic with your time, energy, and choices. It's not about doing more, it's about doing better. In a world where being busy is often mistaken for being productive, smart discipline teaches you to focus on what truly makes a difference. It's not about running all the time. It's about knowing where you're going and making sure every move takes you in the right direction. If you want real success, be smart about it. Don't waste your energy on random attempts or efforts that go nowhere. Use your strength wisely. Manage your time and attention well. Real strength isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter. Discipline is the key to achieving more with less effort, reaching your goals more efficiently, and, most importantly, moving forward with intelligence. It won't take you where you want to go with just brute force. It works by helping you choose the right moment, the right move, and the right mindset. It's a skill that few people truly master, but once you do, it completely changes how you handle challenges. Discipline won't stop you from making mistakes, but it will help you bounce back stronger every time. It doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for patience, reflection, and intelligence. With it, you won't just achieve more. You'll become the kind of person who reaches their goals in a smarter, more effective way, without unnecessary stress. Did you like what you learned here? Then leave a comment below. Write stoic and wise until the end, so I know you're ready to apply this strategy and intelligence to your own journey. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, now's the time to join this community of people who are focused on growing with strategy and wisdom. And don't forget to check out the 2 videos popping up on the screen right now. Keep deepening your knowledge and taking yourself further. See you there.